about this movie called Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway. And we invited Supriya Devakonda to talk to us about it. Supriya is close to this story, and Supriya will talk more about what she felt about this movie. Supriya, over to you.
Thank you, Miral. Uh, as Miral just pointed out, I met Sagrika on whose the movie is based at her book launch, and her story was quite riveting as to how she fought back for her children single-handedly, not just against the Norwegian authorities, but also against her own husband and her in-laws who were keeping the children away from her. So it was a long, drawn fight for her. And she's still fighting it, especially because she has to take care of the family whole single-handedly. And she has to, listen to irrelevant comments and questions about the place of the father in the children's life. But she has proven everyone wrong by doing MCA and MBA and trying to work and upskill herself so that she can give her children the better life. So it's really rewarding to be with that woman and meet her, and especially her smile. It's like amazing, so calming and peaceful after the struggles she had to go through.
And in the movie, it's depicted that she couldn't even speak English. Manu, you watched the movie as well. Tell us about the movie.
Hi, and you're going to be surprised with the amount of emotions this movie has brought to the table. Honestly, I went with my mother, and there were moments where I had to hold her hand and feel that, no, I am safe at least. Because this movie will take you to an emotional roller coaster of so many emotions amalgamated into one. सबसे पहले तो this movie revolves around the story of a woman called Mrs. Chatterjee. She is from Bengal. She is from the backdrop of Bengal and she gets married. उसकी family वाले उसको बोलते हैं कि अब तुम्हारी शादी करने का time हो गया. So Devi Chatterjee marries to Anirudh, and then they move to Norway. So that husband is such a ill-fated character. उसको मेरा मन कर रहा है तो थप्पड़ लगा दूं. So the way he thrashes her, I mean, that's so brutal. उसका हाथ तोड़ देता है यार. I mean, I was like, dude, यार, मतलब बीवी है. And then when somebody tried to intervene and help him out with his domestic violence, he got so violent with that guy itself. And this man is so full of himself. उसको ना सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने मेल ईगो की पड़ी है. मेल ईगो को सुबह शाम खिलाओ पिलाओ बिठाओ, बस यही काम है उसका. Because of this man, they'll end up in trouble half of the time. Because पहली तो the charges that are laid against them, उसमें यही है सबसे पहला कि the husband does not help in the house. And इतनी पेट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी में रह के वो जो डायलॉग्स लिखे ना, दे आर सो हार्ड हिटिंग. यू फील लाइक स्लैपिंग दैट गाय बिकॉज कि मैं चूड़ा और ये पहन के रोटियां बेलू क्या और या बच्चों को संभालू. एंड आई वाज लाइक, डूड, यू आर अ मैन. तुम्हारी शादी हुई है विद दैट औरत, तो तुम्हारी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है टू हेल्प हर आउट. एंड दिस वुमन इज सच अ फाइटर. आई मीन, वो पता नहीं कैसे इतनी सारी चीजें डील करती है. her in-laws are so toxic. वो बस उसको अपने बेटे की वजह से रखते हैं. There's this one scene where I feel like ऐसा हुआ ना अगर लड़कियों के साथ तो it's the worst. मतलब वो उसके in-laws आते हैं and they are actually, मतलब जो औरत अपने पति के साथ नहीं सोती वो सोफे पे सो जाती है and the माँ and बेटा sleeping together in the room. कंफर्ट वगैरह सब छोड़ के. एंड इमेजिन उससे सवाल जवाब करते हैं कि वो कौन है क्या है एंड ऑल दैट. एंड दिस वुमन उसके बच्चों को आके लेके जाते हैं. पहली बात तो आई वाज सो अलार्म्ड विद द फैक्ट दैट somebody can actually come to your house and take your children away, like kidnap your children just like that and keep them at a foster home, and that too with a very sickening purpose, which is to just feed on those children and get money. I mean, come on, that is such a disheartening reality about this movie. Because you feel that these children are kept in the foster houses, but no, the reality was so dark behind it. And Devi Chatterjee, this woman, Rani Mukherjee, is a powerhouse of a performer in this entire movie. And I don't know, this movie is entirely on her shoulders. The way this woman has stood like a rock for her family. Can you imagine एक माँ अपने बच्चों के लिए 1.5 साल तक लड़ी है. She's gone to all the possible courts. She's gone to all possible levels. She's been declared mentally unfit by the Norway government just because she is emotional about losing her children. Emotions को यहाँ पे तोला जा रहा है with being mentally unfit. And that was so horrifying to watch because she was actually recorded on cameras and proven mentally unfit. And those women who were sitting in the Norway government were actually laughing at her plight, and that was so brutal to even begin with. My mom was like, "Hey, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है?"
But ऐसे काफी cases हैं, and this is a reality in a lot of places. And Supriya will tell us more about. Supriya, you know Sagrik, and you know how much of this story was true. So tell us more about what, as a mother, you felt when you heard her story and then you watched the movie.
It was tear-jerking, to be very honest. And there were times when I had goosebumps. There were times when I was having just tears. There was one scene which really moved me. तो एक सीन आता है ना जहाँ पे एक adopted mom बोलती है मिसेस चैटर्जी को कि बच्चे मेरे से मत छीनो. And she says कि पर मेरे बच्चे भी तो हैं, मुझसे मत छीनो. So as an adopted mom, that conversation was so poignant. क्योंकि मैं जब adoption के लिए गई थी मेरा बस यही एंटीवर था मेरी और मम्मी का कि हम कोई भी बच्चा ले आए लेकिन किसी से छीन कर नहीं लाए, किसी की फैमिली से छीन कर नहीं लाए. So it just struck a chord and we go in the hopes कि हम किसी फैमिली से छीन कर नहीं लाए, but truth कुछ और ही होता है, सच्चाई कुछ और ही होता है. So that really touched me and I was like, I didn't have any answers for that.
There is another angle here, Supriya. I saw a tweet from the Norwegian ambassador to India that all of the stories fictionalized, it's not the truth. But that's not true. How can the Norway government make a statement like that? I'm pretty sure before making the movie, the producers and the directors really looked through all the documentation to base it on a real life story.
Yes, they did. And, I had attended a symposium organized by Suranya Iyer, and उसमें आशिमा चिपर भी आई थी. तो उन्होंने साफ साफ बोला था कि मैं I just did not go with the accounting of Sagrika, but I did my own research before writing this movie because I wanted it to be as sensitively handled. And so if you notice in a movie, they have included some cases. बीच में वो बोलते हैं. So that is the research of Ashima who thought to add them in and say कि ये होता है Norway में. और symposium में भी, there were a lot of people from Norway who claimed that who admitted that this does happen, not just to Indian families, but Norwegian families as well. So it's a big thing. So it's not a fiction by far, no means. And also the husband. So basically people said that we are vilifying, हम in-laws को और husband को बुरा बना रहे हैं, but वो सच नहीं है. वो सच ये है कि वो बुरे ही थे.
Because the husband's family actually took money from the Norwegian government to keep the children away from the mother.
Yes, and not only that, अगर इतने ही अच्छे हैं तो अभी क्यों नहीं है जिंदगी में उनके बच्चों की जिंदगी में. Husband ने तो husband is not there. Sagrika is taking care of the children on her own with the help of her parents. So she also said कि मेरा तो एक ही unit है, मैं मेरे parents for my children. And one more interesting fact which came out of symposium. So the social workers who were played by the Asturian women. they were mothers themselves. And when they read the story, they were so moved that they wanted to do this role at any cost. And the way they acted, a lot of people who have seen the social workers, they said कि उन्होंने तो पूरा वो demeanor, mannerism बिल्कुल to the T किया है. So that was the other thing which was exclaimed.
That's crazy. Manushi, what did you think about the actors in the movie? You, of course, are a big fan of Rani. Rani, because he was brilliant. I mean, I haven't seen a better performance from Rani Mukherjee than
Meera,
the.
She stole the show for me, because I have watched her since so many years, and I think I have been a very ardent fan of Rani Mukherjee since Tara Rampam days, which is like so old, Hum Tum days. And the kind of versatility that this actress has, especially the last scene, when she was asked by the Bengali judge that do you think आप अपने केस में क्या कहना चाहेंगी, and the way she has that entire performance
Monologue, yeah.
based, yeah, that entire monologue, that मुझे नहीं पता सर कि मैं अच्छी माँ हूँ या बुरी माँ हूँ, पर मैं माँ हूँ. And the emotions that lawyer, the Bengali lawyer, brings on the table for Rani Mukherjee, that was just phenomenal. You would want to watch this movie for that one scene. It was so powerful that it will move everybody, including all the wicked in-laws and all those stupid husbands and everybody else, I think, because the way she has emoted, it's just out of this world.
So, for our listeners and viewers, we highly recommend Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway to you. This movie will release definitely on a web platform soon. But if you haven't watched it, it is running in theaters near you, wherever in the world you are. It is available, and this is a movie that you should not miss, not only for the performances but also for the issue that it brings up, the issue of child welfare services being the arbitrary body to take away people's children without their permission. So I mean, we don't want to get political here and say whether it's right or wrong or whatever the reason is, but we just want to lay it out there and say this is a prevalent problem in a lot of countries around the world where child welfare services becomes arbitrary person or a body to take away people's children. And this is one such story that really struck the chord with us this week. And this movie is called Mrs. Chatterjee v. Norway, and it is playing in theaters near you.